Many artists assume that white is just white, but different whites behave in different ways. This is important because the characteristics of each white is different regarding color mixing, opacity, texture, and drying time. So today I'm going to review one white that I use consistently, which is the titanium white, and some of the other whites I've experimented with, and why sometimes I use specific whites if I'm trying to get a nice vibrant color with red. So check it out. So today I'm going to look at titanium white, lead white, warm white, zinc white, and soft mixing white. So let's check out the differences and why you might want to use them and see which ones you might prefer depending on what you're painting. So the characteristics of titanium white are that it's the most opaque, it's got stronger tinting power, and it's got a thicker texture. It's non-toxic, and it's the coolest white. Zinc white is more transparent, a weaker tinting strength, and it's good for subtle highlights. It's also the least opaque, and it's a warmer white. Lead white, which most people don't use because of its toxic qualities, is a faster drying white. It's more flexible, it has a warmer tone. And it's the cleanest looking white, but it is more expensive than the other whites. And mixing white, if you would ever want to use it, it's a blender for smoother transitions. So let me show you a look at what they look like side by side. Some companies have made combination whites, mixing zinc and titanium and adding some additives, like Gamblin's Warm White, which is a combination of titanium white, zinc white, and monoacetylene, which is an orange tint, and aerolide yellow, which is a yellow tint. The basic definition of transparent versus opaque paint is a simple one. Imagine a wall and a window. The color of the paint does not pass through the brick wall, it just lays on top of it. Whereas the transparent paint is like the window, and you can see through the window and you can see what's underneath it. So this experiment was interesting for me. Although I've used all of these whites before, I had kind of forgotten how they worked and what they did, and it was it kind of enlightened me as far as what I could use in the future. So I really liked the zinc white because it had a transparency to it, and I also liked the soft mixing white. Is so dense. I mean, I've heard people say that they think it's really the best one, although the concern is about the toxicity, but you know, wear gloves and try not to smell it and that kind of thing. But what I noticed is the lead white that I have is the Rublev lead white. It's a fast drying alkyd for underpainting, and maybe it dries faster than the normal lead white. I'm not really sure, but it really dries too fast. It's like I can't keep up with it. I like a slower drying white because I like to work with my paint longer. So that's my preference. So yeah, the titanium white's kind of the go-to if you want some opacity, but the soft mixing white and the zinc white are now on my radar again as far as using it in paintings. I think primarily it's got a more vibrant color with the reds, and so if you're like painting flowers or something like that, you can get a much better chroma with your paint. So that's my summary. Most painters use white to lighten a color's value. It's not the only way to do it, and it may not be the best way to do it. For instance, with greens, if you're trying to lighten them, you should use just the yellow. When you're mixing a green, you usually use some type of blue and some type of yellow. And if you want to lighten that green, the best thing you can do is to add more of the same yellow, because if you add white, it's going to dull it and make it chalky. Most painters use white to lighten a color's value, but it's not the only way to do it, and it may not be the best way to do it. But it is direct and it's basic. It will also dull and cool the color you're trying to lighten, because white is just the lightest version of gray. So one time I was trying to paint some flowers, and the color of the flowers was very chalky. And I thought, why is this alizarin crimson so vibrant, and yet when I add the white, it just kind of goes away, the vibrancy goes away. I did this quick internet search and said, what's the deal? And I found out that other whites will tone reds differently, and so I experimented with it. And I can't remember, I think I ended up, it was probably a zinc white I ended up using, and it had a much more vibrant or a darker chroma. So basically it's very helpful to know the characteristics of the white that you're using. Let's do a little experiment with flowers and see how they turn out. And I've mixed this with zinc white. And this is warm white mixed with alizarin. And I would say it's approximately the same amount of white to the same amount of alizarin. You can see a big difference. And this is titanium white with alizarin crimson. And man, this is really chalky. So far, this is the zinc white. This is the warm white, Gamblin. And then this is titanium white. And this is the soft mixing white here. And this is the lead white. It's really, the amount that I set out is really dried out. And so I had to add quite a bit of odorless mineral spirits to get it to spread. This is the soft mixing white mixed with cad medium red and cad yellow lemon. It looks like I forgot one of my flowers. This is just cad red medium by itself. There's nothing mixed to it. Now, when you consider these are supposed to be red flowers, not turning out very good, is it? Let's try this. This is straight alizarin crimson. It's funny how often you can actually use it straight out of the tube, but I kind of like that color. Wonder what would happen if I kind of did the outer petals straight alizarin. That gives it a little more dimension, huh? This is cobalt blue, and you can tell that I'm putting it on top of this orangey yellow because it's turning it more green. So I probably should have done that first. I add a little phthalo blue to this one. This is cad lemon mixed with titanium white. Cad yellow medium with titanium white. If these weren't so thick, they'd almost look like Gerbera daisies. This is straight phthalo blue. It's kind of fun to mess around with paint when you're not being serious. Well, this phthalo blue is vibrant, to say the least. Now you can see alizarin crimson is a transparent red, and so that's why you can kind of see the paint underneath it. I'd be really interested in hearing what your favorite white is or what experiences you've had working with whites. So let me know in the comments below. Happy painting!